Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and the crypto asset class, and in this case specifically XRP, continue to get more mainstream exposure. In this case, we're talking about Bloomberg. Take a look at this headline from Daily Hodl. Bitcoin set for bull run that will dust NASDAQ as Ethereum, XRP, and altcoins face uphill battle. Bloomberg forecast. Now, they're not, just to be clear, even though they're talking about potential uphill battle for XRP and altcoins, they're talking about in the short term. This isn't some sort of troll thing where it's, yay, Bitcoin and everything else sucks. That's not what's going on here. And in fact, I'll share with you in this video, there's another analyst that thinks that XRP may be heading right on up to 50 cents in the short term, which would be something because we've seen some tremendous rallying of XRP price over the last few weeks in particular. I have lots to cover in this video. That's just some of it. But before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you would please ever so delicately tap that like button, but don't get all smashy with it. I'm looking at you, Mr. Muscles over there. You're not going to impress anybody smashing that harmless little like button. Just a delicate tap will do. And also, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. It is the best YouTube channel in all of the land. That's a fact, and I know there's science behind it. Right now, we've got XRP at 29.6 cents. Bitcoin's at $11,649. And the market cap for the crypto asset class is at $349 billion. And fair enough, there's been a pullback, but I've been following what analysts have been saying as of late, and this was actually expected. I would like to be super clear here at the beginning. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not have a financial background. You should not buy or sell because of anything that I say or write. I am merely an enthusiast in the XRP community who enjoys engaging in conversation with other community members on various crypto topics, usually about XRP. And it's fun to make YouTube videos on top of it. It's my most favoriteest hobby ever, so I'm like combining the two like spaghetti and meatball. Perfect combination, I'm telling you here. But still, XRP, despite this little bit of retracement, it's still up 47.23% over the last 30 days. And now Bitcoin over the last 30 days is up 23.81%. So either way, it's always like, pick a time frame. You can paint whatever narrative you want, but if we're looking over the last 30 days, it doesn't look so bad. We knew a new retracement with a certain amount of reliability was going to be coming because nothing shoots up straight forever when it comes to price action. There's always going to be some tumbling. And I would like to highlight this because I've noticed that there are a lot of new people entering the world of crypto and the XRP community. And here's I guess you could call it maybe, I don't know if meme's the right word, but here it's a screen grab. This is a real screen grab, by the way, which I am sharing with you not to make fun of this individual at all, not all, that I would never want to do that, but to illustrate a point. Here's a tweet from somebody named Greg Schoen from May 16th, 2011. And many of you, I'm sure, have seen this because it's been widely circulated. This thing has gone viral, but it popped up again in my feed from, I just saw JC Crypto. You didn't tag me, I just saw it, but I wanted to share it with you, especially since there are new people that may not have seen this or be aware of perhaps the value of holding. But Greg wrote the following on May 16th, 2011. I wish I had kept my 1,700 Bitcoin at 6 cents instead of selling them at 30 cents. Now that they're $8. Hashtag Bitcoin. So I bet that was really painful when he sold it at 30 and went up to 8. But he had no idea that it was going to go from $8 to almost $20,000 in 2017, just 6.5 years later. He would have been obscenely wealthy. And he was actually interviewed some years later about this. It may have been late 2017, early 2018. I can't remember. I just remember this. I don't remember what the publication was, but he was like in really good spirits about it. It's just like, because that's the thing. Like I'm going to sell some XRP. I'm never going to sell all of it, but it's like you don't know what's going to happen. And in terms of de-risking, everybody just has to make that decision for themselves when it's the right time to sell. But I wanted to highlight this because not only is it fascinating, but it can illustrate the value in just holding something for the long haul. And that's why for me, I'm never going to sell all of my XRP because I don't know what's gonna happen. And even if I'm wrong, like I will ride this bitch to zero. I swear I will. But I don't think I'm a Mr. XRP bull here. But I'm just saying I am not letting go. And to this point, I've still never sold anything. I've been in the space for 3 years as of this coming November. So take a look at this piece now. Bitcoin set for a bull run that will dust NASDAQ as Ethereum, XRP, and altcoins face uphill battle, Bloomberg forecast. Bloomberg just released its latest outlook on the crypto markets. Bloomberg Intelligence senior commodity strategist Mike McGlone says Bitcoin's adoption among mainstream investors is on the rise. And to be clear, this is important because even though this is an XRP-centric channel, in 2020 here, as I record this, XRP absolutely, as is the case with every other altcoin, following the price action of Bitcoin. So it matters. And the piece continues. He expects an advantageous macroeconomic landscape to sustain a Bitcoin bull run that will, quote, dust the NASDAQ. And here's a quote. Increasing adoption and vehicles for exposure and custody are accelerating Bitcoin into the mainstream of investments. In a world of zero and negative interest rates and diminishing equity price returns due to quantitative easing, which, by the way, is just printing money. That's the government printing money. It's a softer term, quantitative easing. People are like, ooh, that sounds fancy. What's that? It's printing money. But then his quote continues, the quasi-currency stores of value, gold and Bitcoin, are finding increasing investor interest. Bitcoin $10,000 breach set to dust NASDAQ. Fundamentally bullish and breaking above key $10,000 resistance. Bitcoin has a solid foundation on the back of a steep correction and period of disdain in our view. Which is interesting because as far as the long-term viability, and I've talked about this, I don't want to go too far in depth, it's just, given that Bitcoin doesn't do anything unless you want to say store of value, it's like, what drives it is a reasonable store of value. And given that it doesn't do anything and there is no additional value it's driving, you would have to, the only real argument I can find is that it's the first. And maybe that's right. This is why I always say I'm skeptical. I don't say Bitcoin's going away for sure. I always just state that I'm skeptical of it. And who knows? Maybe Bitcoin will be around 100 years from now and it'll be worth substantially more. I don't know. But if that's the case, then it simply has to do with the idea that it was first and standards matter, and maybe that'll come to pass. And it's certainly true that it's not always the best technology that ends up having staying power. You can think about VHS versus, what were those other things called that failed? The younger people listening are going to have no freaking clue what I'm talking about here. Remember there were video cassettes, right? Like in the 80s? Was it called Beta? I don't know I was going to talk about this, so I didn't look it up, but it was like it was beta. It was two different formats that were somewhat similar, but I think it was beta. I apologize if I'm mistaken about the technology, but again, it's in the dustbin of history, so whatever. And technologically, it was better, but there were other shortcomings. It might have been the case, like even though the quality of the tapes were better, I think that they were, there was shorter, like not as much capacity, something like that. And so in terms of the quality, it wasn't the best technology that absolutely won. And unless you determine that like length of video that's recordable was what you're optimizing for, which I guess is ultimately what happened. But I'm just stating that it's for sure the case that it's not always the best technology that wins. It's also true you can think of with video game systems. There are always other factors at play here in terms of what technology is actually adopted here. Now, Mike McGlone adds that Bitcoin's growing fundamentals suggest Bitcoin is solidifying its position as digital gold. He says the leading crypto is no longer the highly speculative and unknown asset it once was, with the Bollinger Band's momentum indicator suggesting a burst to $13,000 is imminent. We shall see. Now, in contrast, the Bloomberg intelligence analyst says Ethereum's hot streak is likely fueled by pure speculation as opposed to Bitcoin's fundamentally driven growth. See, and that's where I'm not entirely convinced, because to me Bitcoin, it's supremely speculative. To me it seems like, and that's the reason that altcoins move with. I get it, fine. It's okay. His argument's fair. I'm just saying that I'm not convinced. He could be right. I'm just not convinced of it because. Okay, first of all, obviously all the altcoins, like I stated earlier in the video, they are following the price action of Bitcoin, but so that's speculative. And there's some independent seeming movement on shorter time frames. Okay, fine. But with Bitcoin, it seems to also be wildly speculative. And, you can make an argument that there are certain people that are holding Bitcoin in perpetuity, but is that more so because they're also, as a whole, betting on the entirety of the asset class, or is it really just Bitcoin? And that's something we can't really know. And it makes me wonder. So it's not like it's some wacky thing that he said is perfectly legit to put that concept out there. I'm not going to go as far as him and state something definitively like that. And then here's another quote. Ethereum has extended last year's highs and leaped to one of the top-performing major crypto assets in 2020, but we view its rally as more speculative versus the favorable demand versus supply conditions supporting Bitcoin. Then the piece continues. McGlone says Ethereum is facing, and they're getting XRP, just one sec, is facing heavy competition from protocols that offer the same use case as a total of 6,000 crypto assets of all sorts flood the markets. He believes Bitcoin's scarcity is the key factor driving its value and points to a 2-year comparison of Bitcoin's performance compared to Ethereum, XRP, and the altcoin market at large as a sign that Bitcoin is the better long-term play. Bitcoin is up 54% over the last 2 years, while Ethereum is down 4.5% and XRP is down 30%. And again, it depends on the time frame you looked at. I started the video by showing you that XRP is up 40-something% over the last 30 days, so whatever. Does it really functionally matter? And also, it depends here when you're talking about, as far as Bitcoin being the best and safest play. I personally don't feel that way, and I'm, again, not offering financial advice, just sharing my opinion because I have a fun time talking about this stuff and engaging with you on it, on the topics. But to me, given that Bitcoin doesn't do anything unless you want to say store of value, is that really in and of itself enough? Okay, I already touched on that. But XRP is legitimately being used in the commercial production of on-demand liquidity, which is enterprise-ready software. Well, as long as that continues to get adopted, to me that seems like a pretty reasonable bet, given that almost no one on the planet is investing in crypto. Like I've been stating recently, less than 1% of humans have purchased Bitcoin, and even fewer even know that XRP exists. And I believe that institutional investors, while they have a much more notable presence now than a few years ago when I entered the world of crypto, I think it's nothing compared to what it's going to be in the future. I think you're going to have a multi-trillion-dollar crypto asset class in the future. It would be so weird to me if that never happened. I just don't know what the timeline's going to be. But I think it's coming. And as long as XRP continues to gain traction, I suspect that it's going to be here for the long haul. And if I ever change my mind based on real-world developments, you'll be the first to know. But I am Mr. XRP Bull right now. And here's another quote. It's the unlimited supply of the broad crypto market versus the relative scarcity of Bitcoin that will maintain buoyancy in the benchmark asset in our view. About 90% of the 21 million available Bitcoins have been produced, leaving demand and adoption as the primary price outlook gauges. Our indicators point positive for Bitcoin, while the basic rules of supply and demand leave little hope of broad market price advancement. And so I'm just left wondering, when are notable publications going to factor in real-world utility for crypto actually being used for something? See, and that just shows me how nascent the asset class is, how early we are. All right, now into this Cointelegraph piece written by chart analyst Rakesh Upadhyay. He wrote about a bunch of different coins in terms of price action. I just want to cover XRP. XRP's intraday range has been shrinking since August 2nd, which suggests a lack of clarity among the bulls and the bears about the next likely move. This has formed a pennant, which is known to act as a continuation pattern. If the XRP, what is this channel again? The Lambo Moon channel, what is this? If the XRP/USD pair breaks out and sustains above the pennant, the bulls will try to push the price to 32.6 cents and then to 34.6 cents. Check this out now. A break above this resistance will be a huge positive and could result in a move to 50 cents. So I know what I hate, and I don't hate that. We'll see if it happens. They writes, however, the RSI is still above 78 levels, which suggests that the pair has run up sharply in the short term. Hence, it might catch its breath for a few days. The bulls might face stiff resistance in the 32.6 to 34.6 cent zone. The pair will signal a deeper correction if the bears sink and sustain the price below the immediate support of 28.4 cents. And again, as I stated earlier, XRP is currently at 29.6, so safely above it from this individual's perspective. So there we go. Always a fun time in the world of crypto, and specifically Ripple and XRP news and analysis. But that's it for this one. I am not a financial advisor. Did I mention that? Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.